Hey, everybody, welcome to another Smoke and Mirrors. This episode brought to you by Bunkers. Bunkers, it's where your racist uncle goes to hide while we're changing the world. Bunkers. Also brought to you by Saliva. It's how we get the food down our throat. Ugh, saliva. Hey baby, I hear those blues are calling, tossed salads and scrambled eggs. Oh, that sounds good now. Well, I may seem confused, but let me tell you now, I got it paid. I don't know what to do about that salad and scrambled eggs. They calling again. And now, here they are, your invenerable hosts, Carlos, Karim, Wyndham. All right, I wasn't ready yet. I'm going to be there in a second. Just everybody's, hey, I was totally ready. It's already 4:21. I knew that. So if that's why you're here, if that's not why you're here, you're a good person and good for you. Oh, there it is. There it is. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Hope folks are well today. Got a special treat for you. And we did all the things that we do before and checked all the sound and got ready. And hope that will work out when we get to that point. And we'd never do know. But those are the risks of going live. Do you have yourself a warm bevy? Hope you do. Num. Welcome to Smoke and Mirrors. Hey, guess what? Gonna be doing some more guest stuff next Friday. Got another guest coming up here. This is my good friend Courtney Collins, also known as DJ Wildchild. Gonna be up in this motherfucker. And with her, we're going to talk about what it is to live in a place of invisible disabilities, what it is to consistently reinvent ourselves, and again, living black under COVID. Because, boy, oh boy, that's more of a fucking project than we thought it might have been. We're all in this together. Hey. It's time for some arts and crafts one more time. If you've been here for that segment, prepare for the fun. If you have not, love to introduce you to a thing I've been building for a while now. This is a little sign, Am I Next? And on it, you will see all sorts of names of different folks, including the folks who most recently set off their murders, set off our evening activities, and got a couple more to add today. So shout out to the murderers of Dominique. It's getting a little crowded. We may have to add some more colors. Fells. And Rhea can go down. Oh, don't want to knock over the bong. That would be a mess. Rhea Milton. Two more black trans women lost to the patriarchy. So picture pages. Hey everybody. Well, today I have a friend here, and hopefully that will make it a little bit better. I would like to bring on somebody who is a multi-talented, multi-hyphenate, an MC, an educator, organizer, actor, trainer, host, parent, but playwright. Is that in there? Is that and playwright? May I present to you Ryan Nicole? Ryan, welcome to Smoke.
What's up?
And Mirrors. Let's get you one of those right there. Let's get you one of those right there. Hey!
Glad to be in the building.
You know what I'm saying? All right, let me make sure I'm looking up at my levels. It looked like we both here. I don't know what fuck had happened before. I had done this before, and as I started doing it, about 30 seconds into this, friends were like, "Hey, you know what? All we hear is your guests. This is interesting, but I don't understand what the discussion point is."
Oh no! So it was just the responses of the guests. That's pretty fresh.
Yeah, for like 30 seconds.
I would love that. You know what I do? Like when I'm this is in the long past. This was long ago when we used to go to restaurants. Remember those days?
In the old world.
In the old world, right?
Yeah.
When I used to do those things, and I would watch people have conversations, and then fill in what they were saying.
Oh yeah.
Like that sounds like that's what your audience was doing.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty lit.
Yeah, it was a little bit lit. It was not so lit that I didn't get a note immediately from one listener and one producer like, "Hey, what the fuck is going on?" So, not that lit.
So not lit at all. Like
no,
wet
no,
lit?
no,
Got
kind of
it.
whack, kind of whack. Hey, what's going on, Ryan?
Man, just I would say chilling because that's my default, but I'm not. I'm grinding. I am. I kind of was on like a mellow space, managing my emotions, kind of not pressed on to-do items.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I had all these to-do items, which is really, I don't know, it feels affirming of my purpose. Like this right now feels affirming of my purpose, right?
Yeah.
All these people are looking for people who say all the right things and folks to lead them. And I don't know, I guess I'm being called, I suppose.
Right.
So I feel purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a second Black History Month for cultural workers right now. We out in these streets, boy.
Real talk, I know.
Getting the calls.
Normally I get paid. I get paid in February.
Right.
I get paid in March.
Right. Well, we getting paid in
then
freedom.
I get
We
to
getting
chill
paid
in
in freedom. You know what I'm saying? Getting paid in freedom.
Yeah,
and,
real talk.
And a little bit of money.
A little bit is absolutely right.
All right,
nobody wants to monetize the struggle.
No good at all. So let's get into some shit. First of all, how long, I think I've counted the years. I'm not sure if you have. How long have we known each other? Do you have any estimate?
Shoot. Would that be 07? 12 years?
I think it would have been, at least 2000. Yeah, 2007, 2006, 2007. Right
thereabouts, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't done the math before that long, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had that, you had the 12 o'clock or 10 o'clock shadow. The George Michael is what I called it. The George Michael shadow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I recall the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was nice.
Okay.
You should be. That's a compliment. Okay.
Is it? Okay. I'm gonna take it as such.
Hell yeah.
I'm taking it as such.
Please do. Yeah. I had a perm, so
you did. I wasn't gonna bring it up. I wasn't gonna bring it up.
I did. I didn't start that way, but I ended up there.
Right. And where we were Youth Movement Records. Those youth.
Yep.
Are not that any longer. Those are grown folk.
Totally grown. Kids, wives, husbands, all the whole thing.
Man, that's some time.
And, yeah, the first time I saw one of them in a club, bruh, like, drinking next to me, I was like, oh.
How'd that hit your soul?
Yeah, I was like, well, I guess I better be leaving the club now. That's it. It's over for me.
My time is up. My time is up now. I'm fine with them steering shit right now. They're doing a good job. This is just fine.
Yeah.
This is just fine.
They're killing it.
They got it. They got it. They
Yeah,
got it
man. Yeah, man.
globally, right?
I think
So
so. I mean, I think they were trained up right,
yeah,
pats on the backs, whatever. But yeah, I think they do have it, and I'm happy to be in this position as kind of like the auntie, helping guide them, helping heal them when they make it back, and helping talk it all through and process it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm not even gonna lie, and it's got as much to do with my current immunodeficiency state as it does
Hmm.
my age. But I am real happy not to be out in these streets. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
Bro.
I've had my time. I've done my time. 20 years out there is enough. I think I'm solid for
feel
a
you.
minute. I think I'm solid for a
You're
minute.
good. You earned your stripes.
That is true. My stripes and my grays. My stripes and my grays.
Exactly. Let's not
Right.
talk about those.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
So how you been keeping yourself mellow? What you been doing for yourself, for your spirit, for your vibe, for your family? What's that been looking like?
Gardening, hella gardening.
Yeah,
Yeah, I live in West Oakland. You know what it is. It's a
I do.
concrete jungle, right?
Yeah.
And so every green space is really precious. I live in a converted warehouse, so there's really no green space to be had. It's all concrete everywhere you look,
Mm-hmm.
and wrought iron and whatnot. So I built a gardening box, kind of took up my parking space, built a gardening box there. I'm growing some kale, some bok choy, some lettuce. I got on my
Come on now.
Farmer Joe jeans right now, actually. Yeah. I was at Osh before this. Um, yeah, and then doing some fruits and vegetables up on my roof. So that's like,
Okay.
oh man, if that is not affirming like creativity and the creator and the cycle of life and all of that, I don't know what is. Like
Yeah.
it feels really, really good to see those sprouts come out of the ground and to know ultimately it'll be nourishment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just
I
a
like
good
to
thing.
carry that all the way forward and just know that ultimately it will be poop.
I knew you were gonna say that.
You know.
Nourishment to excrement.
You know. Ultimately.
I could have guessed you were going there. I knew it. Ultimately, it will be poop. It's the circle of life.
And then food again.
And then food
Gross.
again.
Because we're gross. Because we're gross.
Facts.
So you've been out in that
Facts.
garden?
But that's been, yeah, garden,
Nice.
son, taking care of my son, making some music here and there. Definitely writing. I'm glad you added playwright onto that list of the multi-hyphenate identifiers for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of script work, which is nice because as you know, the artistic world is still uncertain, particularly music, as to how it's going to reconvene, right? Post COVID. So it's nice to know that, I do have all these different skills and different things that I've been exploring for a long time, which funny enough, everybody admonished me against. Like everybody was like, focus, you got to focus on one thing.
Right.
If
Remember?
I'd have focused, I wouldn't be surviving. Remember
that?
Yeah.
Remember when multi-hyphenate was like, hey, why don't you settle it down?
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't
It's
be
a bad
doing this.
word.
And oh my God. The first thing I had
Right.
ever hosted that was anything like this was this thing for Doug for Collision Course with Boots. Like,
Yes.
God, this is pre-2000, you know what I'm saying? And I remember
Okay.
even then, right, cats who were around being like, okay, yeah, but you got to focus on like the MC thing. How are you going to host and do that? And then
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
when I was like, yeah, but like, I don't know. I think I got stuff to say. I think I might want to stand up too. And people was like, how? What? How? How does that make sense?
It's all words, my friend, and a microphone.
Is
Okay.
words, it's black person in the pulpit, and it's just word Tetris. Like, it's fine. We can do it.
Thank you.
We know how to pull
It's
attentions.
possible.
You know what? We're like, all we do is write punchlines. What are you talking about?
Right. That's
Good
what
ones.
It is. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Seriously. That people dance right on through until they finally read the lyric sheet.
I
But
ain't
yeah,
worried,
bro,
but that
yeah,
wasn't
so-
the point, though. That wasn't the point, though. That was for
Nah.
us. We did that for us.
It's all good. I know it's for the inner circle. Whoever's out there in the inner circle, they know what's up.
Yeah.
But yeah, just living, just surviving, and I'm grateful to be doing it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I
Yeah. How
also
about
want to.
you? How's your little girl? Your little
Uh,
grown girl?
she grown, grown a
Yeah.
little, grown a little.
Yeah.
Uh, I keep reminding myself, of course, right, because our children are so often thrown into and presumed into adulthood,
Mhm.
well advanced of their ages, right, and
True.
that shows up differently for girls and for boys, and she is she caught what my cousins have. She caught the talls, and
She got the toes.
she got the
Mhm.
talls, and so she's about 3 inches, 4 inches off of me right now. 3 inches, I'm gonna say.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
At 10. So,
Jeez.
I'm telling her, I'm like, okay, it's either gonna go like your cousins, and you're gonna hit that like 5'11", 6 foot mark maybe, or
Wow.
it's gonna be like your pop, and right around sixth grade, whatever height you've hit, that's it, and now you're done.
That's what you get.
That's
Right.
it. That's it. I was a big kid for a minute.
Yeah, you were
You
tall
know,
in sixth grade.
yeah, I got. That's why I got this big old melon head. You know what I mean? They thought it was gonna be on a body that was 6'3", and here I am at 5'9", like looking like a
Stop.
milk dud lollipop, just all off.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
But
Well,
she's good. She's
glad to know
good.
she's well. And
Yeah,
I'm appreciating that you said you affirmed her youth, her 10-year-oldness. She's still a little girl, and I hope she's really flourishing in that.
yeah. I'm trying to. We're both trying to. Me and her co-parent. Her mother is just incredible. So she's got an opportunity to be pretty well grounded. She knows what's going on. She was definitely leading them protests, the youth protests around here the other day. So that was magnificent. That
That's
was
awesome.
magnificent.
Go on,
Yeah,
little mama. That's
yeah,
awesome. Yes.
yeah.
Dope.
And so, how is you keeping your spirit right? And I'm asking this part because you're one of the people I know in my life who has been demonstrating for what for me is the strength through spiritual expression, right? Like there are folks, whatever the structural belief that takes them there, whatever the window that takes them there, find their grounding um, in God in all of her names, right? And
Mhm. Mhm.
so um, how has black spirituality, has your spirituality um, been holding you down during this time, or holding your family down
My
during this time?
Thank you so much for asking that. Really,
Yeah,
thank you. It's really the grounding force, and it's funny because discipline is something that I I think I'm okay at. I think I'm good at. You know, I've been an athlete all my life, and it's nothing for me to endure pain to get to the ultimate pleasure.
yeah,
Um, Yeah, and I'm happy to jump in it, because I know what the end game is going to be. But I will say there's like a middle place. You're a runner. There's a
yep,
middle place in there somewhere where you kind of sit back, like you've hit your stride, you feel good, the pains have kind of fallen off, and you stop pushing.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
right, you know what I'm saying?
I
Like
call that riding the
right
stallion, where
before,
you feel like you're riding a horse, and you're just like, oh, this is fine, this is
yes,
fine.
this is nice. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. This
which
don't
is
even hurt.
great. It's great. Like that's a beautiful place and it's wonderful to languish in. But I will say there's a point where you got to push. Like the hill's coming and shit.
Yeah,
I got to dig in or whatever. So, I feel like I saw this. I felt like this emotional spiritual heal was coming. I didn't know what it was going to be, and then bam, COVID hit. And I had been languishing for a little bit. But because I had the practice of prayer, the practice of meditation, the practice of fasting, to be honest, I just jumped headlong into it early into this shelter in place. And it has been the dopest thing, to center me, to manage my anxieties, which is something that I definitely struggle with. Um, to get me out of future projections and really settle me firmly in the now. And so, like I was saying earlier, I'm just hyper focused on like this moment and every subsequent moment if I'm graced with it. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with the notion that there is an if. And I haven't always been there. Prayer has been a really wonderful thing. And I've also learned to take some of the framework and the conventions out of prayer. I used to admonish myself for not waking up in the morning at 7 and sitting in the room and, meditating on the pillow under the wafting Nag Champa smoke. Like, it's not always like that. You feel me? Like, yeah. I mean, all the imagery we see, all the ways under the best case scenarios, you're in some wooded, forest somewhere and you're praying at the brooks. That's not how it goes. Like, legit, if I'm praying, while brushing my teeth, or I have a moment of prayer in the car, or and it's something that I don't even say out loud. It's just a moment of acknowledgement of the connection of what I know is my personal Trinity, which is, mind, body, and spirit.
Okay.
Like, when those three things come together, I acknowledge that as prayer, and I acknowledge that as God, truly guiding me to the notion of like where two or more are gathered in their name, in His name, God is in the midst. So yeah, I've taken the standard conventions that I've held and that I think are presupposed off of the notion of prayer, off of the notion of worship, and it's been the most liberating thing, the most liberating discovery that I've been able to practice during this shelter in place. The other thing is, I've learned the value of stillness. Many of us here in the Bay are hustlers. We pride ourselves on the go and the grind, and shelter in place has forced many of us to sit down. And I didn't lament it at any point. I was grateful for the reprieve. And it's been nice. Like, it's just been nice to be still, even though that's not my default. Normally I'm running around and I'm triple booked every day. It's nice to be like, no, I don't have shit to do, Right. And so I've been able to find the garden, and the garden has helped me find God. And, that has helped me find myself and, reconnect to the power of our family unit, and just, letting the simple things speak, is prayer, and, has grounded me. And then, like, yesterday was a day before yesterday, that stillness allows me to hear in the quiet, just the quiet voice of God. And, I heard yesterday, God will provide. And it was one of those moments of Trinity, of where my body and my spirit and my mind were in total agreement. And I just nodded yes. And it has been the truth. God will provide, even through the turmoil. This is supposed to be a time of scarcity and of lack. And I've not experienced a bit of that.
Ashe.
So. Ashe.
All right.
Yeah.
I have to clear my throat. I so apologize. And I felt
do
it
your
coming.
thing.
There we go. I tried to be slick and do that earlier when I was like talking a little bit, and it didn't
work.
Quite take. It didn't take.
Yo, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
But your authenticity just reminds me so much of Chappelle. Have you seen Chappelle's latest?
The 8 minutes.
Latest thing. Yeah.
You talking about I looked at the 8 minute piece. I looked at it. It's powerful. It's powerful, and my feelings about bruh are super complicated.
So are mine. Yeah.
Right. Like, he's incredibly funny. There's not a way to pretend that he's not entirely engaging. Clearly my nigga read a book in two. You know what I'm saying? He ain't walk around like just talking out his ass, talking about no flat earth, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's bringing that truth.
Right.
And at the same time, right, the adherence is to and self allowances to lean into patriarchal norms.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. I mean, it felt to me. It felt really akin, like the way he was talking about Candace. To me, felt very akin to like listening to Snoop talk about Gail.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just feels out of pocket. It feels unnecessary. And I'm not saying that she's not like some like black Anglo-Saxon white supremacist. She is. But there's a lot of ways to say that have absolutely zero to do with her genitalia or calling anybody out their name with words that I'm in therapy to not say. So
come on.
That, you know, and at the same time, the expression of the vulnerability that he shared, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the complexity of what it is to be human and what it is to be black in this time, right? The complexity of what he shared around having a show and then telling 2 jokes.
Maybe if you could call it that.
If you could call it a joke, right? Like they jokes like I tell jokes. I don't know. Is this funny? I don't know. It's me.
Right. Maybe. Yeah.
If you've lived the life, it might be a little bit funny. You know, I like my humor like I like my nipples dark. You know, so see that like that. Everybody has nipples. That could be there's gender equity there. You could do it's possible. It's universal.
Some people have 3.
Listen. My daddy has 3. Shh. So it was. I mean, I'm glad he said what he said. I know how many like cis folks, how many like Jack and Jill aspirationalists, and how many white folks who say they love comedy are gonna look at it, and they're not gonna hear some of what he had to say about the reaction to the institutional racism from another voice right now necessarily, and even the way that he addresses that and dismisses that as being the reality and the problematic nature of that. I thought it was very, very smart, if highly problematic.
Yeah, that's him.
Made me cry.
You were the one I wanted. Yeah, same here. The first, I would say, 30 seconds of his speech.
Right up in the beginning, right? Right up in the beginning. It hits you in the heart.
Yeah.
It hurt.
Yeah, it's intense and it's raw.
Yeah, and he was clearly
if
raw.
Nothing else, I do commend that vulnerability, and that's what I find with, if I can compare without offending, that's what I find with Smoke and Mirrors. Just that rawness and that vulnerability, is not something that people offer very often. So I appreciate that from him. I appreciate that from you.
Thank you. And he shows who he is. I mean, it is who he is, and it's like whatever you think about that, whatever you feel about that, and certainly it has impacts that hit the range of moving things forward and some older reactionary ideas that I think it's time for us to kind of try to push up against. And having them out there and at least being in the zeitgeist for some discussion. If folks are willing to challenge His Majesty and have those discussions, especially black folks, especially black male presenting folk, I think there's a real opportunity in what he did. I really do. I think it was powerful.
Same.
Well, listen, speaking of powerful, I want to have an opportunity for you to do something for us, to do a piece for us still. Before that happens, I am going to do some nonsense talking about what's going to happen in the near future. For instance, that on 6/19, please consider joining me and some other Negroidian folk, black people, for a Juneteenth live team celebration. Is their word. Listen, is their language. It's all on my tongue like a tattoo. We're gonna be at Black Like Me. It's a celebration that's going to be presented by our good folks. Oh, I have a whole little blurb here I'm supposed to be reading. I'm gonna read it now. Watch this. We Count Oregon is excited to celebrate Juneteenth with you during their Black Like Me census celebration. This is gonna be happening Friday, June 19, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. It is a Zoom thing, so right here at your phone or computer. This is in commemoration of abolition of American slavery for Black Americans and our ongoing resilience and struggle in unity with Black people from the diaspora. We will rejoice together during this special online event. Also, fuck Donald Trump. I threw that in there. That's not in the copy. We'll hear from Alicia Garza from Black Futures Lab. Oh, see, now look, I didn't practice, and his name's in here, I ain't practice. Hold on, I'm gonna read it. Okay, Representative Akasha Lawrence and Oregon's Black leaders from the NAACP, Urban League, SEI, PALF, and we're going to be there to celebrate everything that we've endured, everything we've come through. You're also going to be hearing the sounds from DJ OG1 and be healed with the awe-inspiring voice of Liv Warfield, along with surprise special guests. This event is one of a kind, not to be missed. Spread the word like hot butter on toast or hate speech from Donald Trump and his crew.
Spread it.
We will see you Juneteenth. Also, coming up on Tuesday, this coming June 16th, I will be here in conversation with Marta Lucha. Marta is running for City Council in Boulder, Colorado. She is running for Boulder City Council. She is a friend of mine who is one of the activists and hunger strikers who, if you graduated with or took any classes in ethnic studies at any university in the United States after 1997, to her, the words for which you may stumbling for are thank you. She was there. She was there in the scene and in the mud, and we're going to talk about her transformation to becoming a viable political candidate and what it means to be voting down the ticket for brown and black women this fall. So please join us here on Tuesday, June 16. And now it is my honor to bring to you a very special performance of something, and I don't know exactly what's going to happen because I haven't. I didn't hear. I wasn't told. May I present to you Ryan Nicole. Ryan,
Thank you, Lowe. So this piece, actually, in the honor of like vulnerability and the whole talk that we had, is something that I want to do. I wrote this piece very recently. It's very raw. It's unedited, pretty unfiltered. But I think as I read it, I find that this is the third time that I'm going to read it. I think what I'm coming to understand is it's just an entreat to all of us to regard how formidable the challenge is ahead of us, that no hug from our opposition, no allowance for us to wear our Black Lives Matter shirts or paraphernalia is enough. No kneeling in protest with you while wearing, riot gear is sufficient to answer to the challenge that we have ahead of us. And so I just want us to acknowledge what really is at play here. We are, as always, in spiritual warfare, and this isn't just a policy fight, even though it is. It is not just a fight for for equity in terms of economics or racial justice, so on and so forth. There's a deeper thing at play. So I say that not to inspire fear, but to challenge, to encourage people to really put on the full armor, to get ready for what we have, what we're encountering. Okay, so here we go. White privilege is euthanasia, is choosing how and how comfortably life will end. With wide-eyed wonder, I witness this audacity, this slithering capacity to challenge God as if they are made of their own hands. There is no fear of death in them whose bellies are driven to the earth, whose nostrils are filled with a daily decay in its home. So the grave conjures a nostalgia the way humid sun rays nag our hearts till our bodies move to porches and stoops in June. We find our lives affirmed at high noon in the brightest light, while at the same time they recoil for shade. When death is innate, it is an adornment, a necklace of ears, fence posts of skulls, a badge and waistband of armaments to affirm an ability to make the toll. When death is native, it is the language of a particular kind of romance, a sonnet entranced attraction to protect and serve it on a platter cold. When death is inborn, a battered corpse is an ornamental appetizer and a mousse bouche that excites the palate for the meal to come. This death intrinsic is an unquenchable hunger. It's no wonder why our entreats for equality are misconstrued as a request for a perverse kind of communion, to share in the singeing of flesh, the wringing of necks, even if the throats are our own. Oh, they must believe it is a favor to share with us this benefit and send us to our beloved home. White murder is black privilege, then white privilege is black murder. We exist, just hoping to live, just yearning to thrive, consigning our lives to invisibility for mere survival, asking our suns to shine, but not so bright. There's a natural doom in high noon. We marvel at our daughters bloom and share their glorious petals at once, praying they be more morning glories in moonflower than lavender, ever careful not to draw envy. And all in the same, I trust it truly pisses God off not to ignore a field of purple. When will we stop feigning blind? This anti-blackness is an incubus we've incubated since infancy. Cooed and sang mother's sweet assurances, we wet nursed, suckled the succubus, we offered their pink gums to our exposed breasts, not expecting they'd eventually grow fangs, though their parents bore the same. We've known this death, though perhaps through different names. Captor, captain, overseer, officer, missionary, misanthrope, and by now should know it seeks nothing if more than its own. Today, our test is to be unswayed by insolence disguised as innocence, as benign obliviousness. In decisions, there are only two roads: ignorance or willfulness. When your posture of surrender is weaponized for their regular privilege, then mimicked as a gestural gimmick, you must know there is a consciousness to this. That's all I have at the moment because my phone keeps dying. But yeah, I think it's important. Maybe there's a reason why I stopped right there. My phone's dying and the notes have gone away. But just know that my entreat is for everybody to acknowledge what is really at play. That, you know, people who consign folks to slavery and chattel slavery, who can, as Dave said, kneel on someone's neck for 9 minutes with their hands in their pockets, have something else at play other than mere racism, mere, misguided policy. There is a thick, demonic anti-blackness, anti-humanity at work. And that's all I gotta say.
Folks, Ryan Nicole.
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely amazing, as always. Absolutely amazing. I tell y'all that all my friends are geniuses, and when I say that, I'm not saying it to be a braggart. It just happens to be fucking true. Give it up one more time for Ryan Nicole. Ryan is currently also hosting Quarantine, a virtual open mic. This happens every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Oakland's own Ryan Nicole.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, thank you. This has been very, very special. Hey, this has been Smoke and Mirrors. What a blast! Comedy, culture, and bullshit, but mostly trying to look through the bullshit, and we'll do it in any way that we need to. So you can become a patron of the, I don't know, generous word to call this is art, at Patreon, Smoke and Mirrors CCB. When you do that, you get one of those very beautiful trading cards that you see a mock-up of right there, with a little jokey joke right from my very own mouth. Well, fingers, I guess in this case. It didn't really come from my mouth right there. Hey, this has been Smoke and Mirrors. As I said, if you would rather see my face than hear my voice, you can find me at IG El Caballo Negrito. Monolingual people, it's there. It's spelt. Just fucking look it up. Twitter, at Caballo Negrito. Listen, I'm asking folks, if you have an extra dime in your pocket right now, if this has been a time that you are flourishing, maybe you want to throw a shekel, throw a doubloon over the way to the Okra Project. The Okra Project are some folks who are doing some food survival and making sure there is food brought to brown and black trans folk in need and living in food deserts and living in abject poverty, because sometime our folk are not treated right by our folk. So if you would like, it would be most excellent of you to think about dropping a little something to them at the Okra Project. PayPal me /the Okra Project /. You can find out more about them all over the socials at Okra Project. You can't tell, but Ryan's watching me look all over my notes to see if I forgot anything, and I don't think I did. Hey, do me a favor, share this. That's what we call passing the J up around here. It is free, and regardless of Zuckerberg's intentions around any of it, I will never bogart. But if it's been worth a shit to you, or you think any of what's happening here is worth a shit, please feel free to drop $5 on it. You can do that at the Venmo. Carlos Wyndham, like the jazz label, not the hotel. Cash App, $CKWINDHAM, or PayPal me at CK Wyndham. This has been Smoke and Mirrors. Again, please join me here on Tuesday for a conversation with Marta Lucha. Join me here next Friday for a conversation with DJ Wildchild. I'll be here the other days making an asshole out of myself by myself, and I know what flavor I am. Lavender Tootsie Roll. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Ryan, anything else you want to plug? Anything else you want to say to these people before we get out of here?
Yo, yeah, real quick. If any of you guys are in the Bay Area, Oakland specifically, we are doing Black Music Matters this Sunday at the Bandstand around the lake. Myself, Kev Choice, Jennifer Johns, and a host of other brilliant, talented artists will be performing and adding our musical contribution to this present moment. Come out.
Excellent. We'll make sure we get that into the notes as well. Family, thank you so much for spending some time. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Wash your hands. I love you. Smoke and Mirrors has been recorded in the void of ever seeing a live studio audience again. Have a good weekend.